Les verbes pronominaux, and more precisely, les verbes pronominaux réfléchis. Okay, so les verbes pronominaux réfléchis. Okay, so we'll see in the coming videos other type of verbs, les verbes pronominaux. Okay, but this one will focus on les verbes pronominaux réfléchis. And we can start right now. So what are les verbes pronominaux réfléchis? And it's a good question. So let's imagine that we've got the subject. So the subject will be me. And well, the idea of this verbe pronominaux réfléchis is that if I do something, so I will do une action, well, I will do it on myself, okay? And that's the whole concept of these verbes pronominaux réfléchis, okay? So I'm doing something and I'm doing something on myself, okay? So let's see now a few examples of verbes pronominaux réfléchis. The first one, se laver, se lever, se peigner, se parfumer, se raser, se maquiller. Okay, so all these verbs are in these categories, a category of les verbes pronominaux réfléchis. So let's see now what they mean, and now it will be probably more clear for you. So se laver is here, se lever, se peigner, se parfumer, se raser, se maquiller. Okay, so you can see that in all these cases, actually, when we're talking about, well, the verbs, well, if I say je me lave, well, clearly I am washing myself. Okay, so that's the whole concept. So the subject is doing an action on itself. Okay, so let's see now another series of verbs. S'amuser, se brosser les dents, se coucher, s'habiller, se déshabiller, se regarder. Okay, so let's see now the meanings, the translations. S'amuser, se brosser les dents, se coucher, s'habiller, se déshabiller, se regarder. Okay, so now that you have an idea of what these verbes pronominaux réfléchis are, let's see how we will conjugate them, and we'll start with the present form. Je me lave, tu te laves, il, elle se lave, nous nous lavons, vous vous lavez, il, elle se lave. Okay, so you can see that, well, actually, laver or se laver in that case is a regular verb. It belongs to the first group. So you've got the normal endings that we have for the present form. Okay, and keep in mind that as it's a verb pronominal, as we say, you will have to add this thing for je. So je me lave. Okay, just to express that you are doing the action on yourself. Je me lave, then tu te laves, il se lave, and then elle se lave. Okay, then nous lavons, vous vous lavez, il, elle se lave. Okay, so it's not that difficult. You should just definitely remember that you should put these little things, you know, here, 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 and here. So let's see now for the passé composé form. Je me suis lavé. Tu t'es lavé. Il, elle s'est lavé. Nous nous sommes lavés. Vous vous êtes lavés. Ils se sont lavés. Elles se sont lavées. Okay, so what we can see here is that, well, you get your subject, then you put me here, and then remember that because we are talking about a verb pronominal, we should use at the passé composé form être and not avoir. And as we use être, then we should put at the end the feminine if needed. Okay, so that's the reason why it's like that. So, je me suis lavé. And then if it would be the feminine form, then you should add this e at the end, but then phonetically it doesn't exist, you don't pronounce it, so it would be exactly the same form phonetically, je me suis lavé. Okay, same thing here, tu t'es lavé. Okay, and the feminine here, possible as well. Il s'est lavé, so if you use this il, of course you should keep the masculine form, and then if you get elle, which is the feminine, you should put this at the end. Elle s'est lavé. Okay, here there is a little mistake, sorry, I didn't put as an option, but it could be here as well and here as well, okay, because nous could be a group of women, and in that case you should put the feminine form, of course. Nous nous sommes lavés. So remember, final S is not pronounced. Vous vous êtes lavé. Okay, and then ils se sont lavés. Elles se sont lavées. So exactly the same thing. You put this as an option. So if you've got il, you don't put it. And if you've got elle, so the feminine plural form, you should put it here. Keep in mind that when we're talking about the pronunciation, whether it's the masculine singular form like that, so it's lavé. If you've got the feminine form, it will be lavé as well. If you've got the plural form, it's lavé. And then if you get the plural and the feminine or feminine plural, it's lavé. So clearly, phonetically, you've got only one form, and it's lavé. Okay? So it's quite important to remember, if you want to write and if you don't want to make any mistakes, to put the e at the end for the feminine form, and then to put the S for the plural form. But if you only want to speak French, then it's actually quite easy because you've got only one form, okay, and it's lavé. Important thing, it is possible to add what we call complément d'objet direct after the verb. Okay, so even if you've got this verb pronominal réfléchi, so you are doing the action to yourself, it is possible to put un complément d'objet direct after the verb. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. For instance, if you've got the sentence il se lave, okay, it is possible to use il se lave, and then you want to be more precise because you want to say what parts of his body he's washing, okay, and in that case you put les mains, hands. Il se lave les mains. Okay, so that's possible, okay, you could say il se lave, but then in that case you don't really know, what part of his body is washing, and in that case, if you want to be more precise, il se lave les mains. Okay, elle se lave les mains, so it would be exactly the same way to proceed. Okay, but then be careful because we've got some common and classical mistakes that students tend to make. This is one thing that I've been seeing quite often. Elle se lave ses mains. Okay, so in many situations students tend to put here, so instead of what we saw it was les mains, they want to put the possessive, so they want to put ses mains, okay, which, I mean, it would be logical, I mean, why not, but then unfortunately the French grammar say that no, it's not possible, so keep in mind that if you want to use this structure and put this complément d'objet direct after your verb, you should put the article here. Les, okay, and don't use the possessive c'est. Okay, so you say elle se lave les mains, and you don't say elle se lave ses mains as we have, or as we had here before. Okay, so it will be exactly the same thing here when you say tu te laves tes cheveux. It's actually, well, it would be logical, but then unfortunately that's not the way it goes. You don't say that. You will say, as we saw, tu te laves les, so the article, and then cheveux. Okay, so remember, don't put the possessive here when you get this type of structure. Okay, so same thing, je me lave mes dents. Well, actually it's not possible, but you will say je me lave les dents. Okay, so remember, no possessive. Another thing to remember if you want to put le passé composé. Il s'est lavé, and then il s'est lavé les mains. Okay, so you will keep this structure. It's actually quite simple. Il s'est lavé, and then you put your complément d'objet direct after les mains. Elle s'est lavé. So in that case, if you look carefully, as we saw previously, you should put the feminine form here at the end, okay, because you are using être in that case. But then look, and that's the reason why you should be careful, elle s'est lavée, and then you don't put anything here, okay, so you take away your feminine form, and you've got your complément d'objet direct after, so elle s'est lavé les mains. This is quite tricky. Many persons tend to make the mistake and to put this feminine form here, or it could be the plural as well, but then in that case it's the feminine, so take it away, don't put anything, and keep your structure like that. Elle s'est lavé les mains. So for instance, in that case, you've got elles se sont lavées, so remember that, well, it's logical, we use être, and then we put the feminine form because it's the feminine, and we put the plural form because it's the plural. But remember this strange rule, but still it's a rule, so you need to follow it. It will go like that as well. So elles se sont lavées, and then you drop the feminine, you drop the plural form, you just put your participe passé like that, okay? And you continue your sentence with your complément d'objet direct, les mains. Okay, so elles se sont lavé les mains. As I said, phonetically, if you speak, it's not a problem because laver, you pronounce it like that, and laver, same pronunciation. So we don't hear that. If you pronounce this form instead of this form, it's not a problem because we don't hear it. Okay, if you want to write correctly, keep in mind that you should drop the feminine and the plural in this type of structure when you've got le verbe pronominal réfléchi and le complément d'objet direct after.